Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for the online ordering webinar. My name is Trevor Kluk, and I'm the Senior Marketing Associate at Jonas Club Software. I'm logged in today under Scott Taylor's account in case there was any confusion as to seeing Scott's name there. Thanks for joining us today. Everyone is on mute for the duration of today's session. If you do have a question, though, please submit it through the Q&A dialog box in the GoToMeeting on the right-hand side, and we will be monitoring those. And at the end of today's session, we'll be answering as many as we can. Just to give you guys a bit of background on Jonas Club Software, our goal is to help clubs thrive through industry-leading services, integrated applications, innovative technology, and the long-term partnerships with the clubs we serve. And we do this by way of 12 brands. You'll see here that we have in our blue the club management systems, and in red we have our website and mobile app products, as well as in green we have some add-on type products, including our analytics and club feedback platforms, as well as outsourced payroll. With all of these combined, we have about 5,000 total installations in over 20 countries around the world, and we have over 250 employees at 5 different offices in 5 countries. So this image is a great portrayal of how we create our software at Jonas. This shows all of the different areas at your club that we have software for, and it's a big integrated system that helps your operations and reporting, your finance and accounting, food and beverage, member engagement, as well as retail and activities. And we also provide online applications to address some of these business areas, as well as mobile apps for your members. But now I'd like to introduce and pass over the presentation to the 2 gentlemen that you came to see today. That is Robert Lamanna and Basil Botazeas, and we'll get started with the online ordering webinar. Guys?
Hi everyone, this is Basil. As Trevor said, Rob will be joining me today as we start looking at online ordering and how it can help your operations at the club.
Yep, Rob here. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Basil, why don't you tell them about online ordering and how it can help them?
All right, I was just going to. Thanks, Rob. So as we know, online ordering is big business. We see 60% of U.S. consumers order delivery or takeout once a week. If we're looking at Starbucks, 20% of all U.S.-based transactions are being made through their mobile app. I'm sure you're all aware of Amazon and the impact that is having with online shopping and online ordering. And everyone is looking at how do we bring this tool to our marketplace. So we have designed our online ordering for both a desktop, or as we see a laptop here, and a mobile device. So through the website, it will be responsive, which can be viewed on a phone or desktop, laptop, tablet, whatever it may be. But many will be looking at it through the mobile app, where it is a little more natural to be looking at the online ordering for your members, whether on course or looking at some pickup from the club. So we will get into the details regarding the online ordering process, but this is a nice overview of how it works. Online orders are enabled in the point of sale. You choose your outlets, your POS outlets. You choose your POS items that you want to sell in each outlet, as well as modifiers from there. That menu then becomes available on the website or mobile app, and you'll do a little bit of work there to get that up with pictures and such. And then your order is placed by a member through the website or mobile app, which then creates a kit in POS and gets fired to the kitchen prep printer or kitchen display system. So optional notifications, and this is a nice one. There will be a button. So this is a confirmation that an order is ready. So you will have a button on your POS where they can signify to the member that the order is ready, and you can have that send an email confirmation as well as a push notification confirmation to those with the mobile app, with our mobile app.
All right, with that, I will take us into a demo of the online ordering product. And we'll start out actually on the website as opposed to the back office, because that'll explain it better, and I'll just go back to outlets. So as Basil said, in the point of sale system, you're going to be able to create online ordering outlets. Those outlets are basically locations from which members can order. As you can see on my screen here, I have 3 of them: a halfway house, a grill dinner, and a grill lunch. What I wanted to illustrate is that if you have an outlet, let's say the grill, that you are willing to accept orders from for lunch and dinner, and each of those has its own distinct menu that you want to have represented, you have the ability to create multiple outlets, each which links to the same basic venue and location, except the schedules may be different. So you can see mine are a little bit different, but they're still pretty wide open just for demo purposes. But the point we're illustrating here is that you could have the grill open from 5 till 9, and you could have the grill lunch open from 11 till 3, and that would allow you to sort of cater to those 2 different meal periods with distinct menus. As Basil mentioned, much of the configuration, if not 99% of it, takes place in Encore, from which you'll set up the outlets and the items that are sold within it, including the ability to add images. But the items themselves will be items that already exist in your system. So the pricing, the modifiers and preps, all of that is set up in the back office, and they just flow up to the web. And that goes as far as well for the images that are in there as well. So you're inserting the images in the back office, and then those will display within the web application, whether it be on a desktop, tablet, or mobile device.
Can I stop you for 1 sec, Rob? Today's session is for only Encore clients. So we had a question if this is for Core only or if it is being offered for Encore. Today's session is only Encore clients, so yes, it is being offered for Encore, and that's what we will be looking at it within Encore today.
Thank you, Basil. So as a member, I have the ability to go in and look at the items subdivided into categories like beverages, sandwiches, and snacks. Just to clarify, those are not sales item categories. Those are just categories for the purposes of the online menu, subdividing items into like categories. You'll be able to create whatever categories you want and just insert the items that are related to it when you're creating the menu. As a member, I can go on and say I want to order a draft. I can add that to my cart. I can increase the quantity. For an item that does have prep options like a burger, this one doesn't have any, but let's see if one of these has sides. No. If there are prep options, they will be displayed. There's a cart down at the bottom giving a running tally of all the items already added to your cart. So in this case, I see that I have 4 items: the 2 beers, the hot dog, and the burger. When I click on that cart, it's going to bring up a summary of my order with all of the items I've placed on it. If there were any preps, they'd show below in a different font and a different size. And I can modify those items here by increasing the quantity or going back to the item and editing it further if I needed to modify prep. Under normal circumstances, this order type would be a drop-down menu from which members could select the order types you've made available. And I'll explain that when we go into the back office, but you can set up 3 different order types. You can select anywhere between 1 and 3 of them. There's to-go, pick-up, and eat-in. And members to paste on the outlet. So this is a halfway house. There really is no eat-in or pickup. It's just all to-go ordering. So we only have the 1 option. So members will not be able to choose in that scenario. In the notes field, members have the ability to add any special notes, any pickup time notes. So for instance, if I'm on the 8th hole, I can indicate that. And this will print on the prep ticket in point of sale, indicating that they should be there in 20 minutes. Once I've confident that everything I put in there is what I want, it's going to show a subtotal here, but that is not inclusive of service charges, gratuities, member discounts, taxes. All of that will come back on the response from the back office. So when I say submit order, it's going to send it down to Encore, and then Encore is going to return me with a confirmation on screen, including an order number, which will be quoted in the notifications we send out, either the email or the push notification, indicating to the member that the order GR0022 is ready in the halfway house based on the outlet from which we're ordering. As a member, I can now go back and say I want to continue shopping, and that'll return me to the list of outlets screen from which I again can select the grill room dinner, and then we can see that menu, and it has different items than what we saw on the halfway house. And again, items will have preparation options. Preps on preps is possible. I want sweet potato fries. It shows me the additional cost. So when I add the ribeye cap to my cart, it'll be $24 plus the $5 additional sweet potato fries, showing a total of $29. In this case, for the grill room dinner, you do see that I have multiple order types. And again, this is more instruction for the person working that particular outlet to pick and pack the order appropriately. So if it's to go, they may want to box it up. If it's eat in, they may want to plate it. So the member can, again, give instructions. If it's to go order and I'm looking to pick it up later today, I can say I would like to pick up at 6 p.m. because I'm bringing this home for dinner. And again, that information will print on the prep tickets and on the chit to indicate to whomever is prepping it that this is not going to get picked up until 6 p.m. So that largely is the member experience, shy of the push notification going out when the order is ready, which we'll show you on the app in a moment. But before we do that, I would like to take us into the back office for the purposes of the setup discussion. So should you purchase online ordering, it's going to be an additional program within your point of sale setups menu titled online ordering, and it'll look a little something like this on the right. What we're looking at there is the setup of the various outlets. So if we look specifically at the grill room dinner that I was setting up previously, you can see down here at the bottom of the screen, you have the ability to give it an online label. So you're creating an outlet, giving it an online label, determining its display order in the list of outlets. You have the ability to give it a description. You also have the ability to link it to a sales area. And the reason the sales area linkage is important is from a sales item perspective. So only those items available in the sales area to which the outlet is linked will be available for addition to the menu. So the sales area is where the chits are going to get created, and it's from where you're going to get your items in terms of what's going to be on the menu. You also have a user defined here. That's the user to whom the chits are going to be assigned when the orders are sent over. So you have the ability for anyone to pick up those chits, but you also have the ability to change this user on a daily basis if necessary if someone different is working the outlet on one day versus another. In addition, what we've seen in a lot of cases of clubs that are using is that they set up a generic user called Halfway House, and whomever is working that outlet logs in as that user, and then we'll have the ability to pick up those chits automatically without having to grab another server's chit. Below that, you'll see there's the orders go directly to printers. So this is a key distinction in how you use online ordering. As Basil said, in many cases, the chits will get automatically created and sent to point of sale and fired to the prep printers. However, there also exists the option of using something called the online ordering queue. So this checkbox bypasses the queue and sends the tickets directly into the kitchen. So in an outlet like Halfway House, where there really is no prep, typically the things are prepackaged or ready to go when members get there, and it's just a matter of someone collecting the items. You don't really need to have someone monitor that queue and push things to the prep printers when necessary. So in that case, you'd have orders go directly to printers checked. However, in something like the grill, where you may have a person who works at to-go desk today and manages all the tickets and organizes them in such a way that the kitchen gets them at the time they need them, then you might want to use the queue in that case so that that person who's working that desk can fire the orders to point of sale when necessary. Like in that scenario where I said I'd pick it up at 6 p.m., you may not want to have them fire that till later. So it's not being mixed in with all the orders that need to get prepped at 12:30 for lunch service. Below that, there's a do not display price option. That means when someone goes to order online, none of the prices will be shown. Just an option we support. And below that, the default order type. So like I said, the more you select, the more that will be displayed. You can select up to 3, including pickup, and that will be available for members to select among. If you don't set one, then only the first 2 options will be available. So beyond that, we get into the menu setup component of this application. On the left-hand side, you have all of your sales items that are associated with the sales area that you selected for the outlet. And on the right-hand side, you have the list of items that have already been added. And on the far right, you have a preview of the order and the information that will be displayed online when users interact with the menu, with the online ordering. So to get something from the left to the right, it's just a matter of grabbing an item and simply dragging it into the appropriate category. By default, it'll get added at the bottom, you see here, and then if you want to move it up, you have the ability to drag these up. Similarly, if you wanted to display entrees above appetizers, you could drop the entrees menu, drag and drop it above the appetizers list. And that's just going to reorder the right-hand side. So now you'll see entrees and then appetizers as opposed to its previous order. So I don't want to do that. I want my appetizers to come first, so I'll restore the entrees to their previous position. You can always hide the preview if you don't want to see it. Just a little toggle, and same thing with items. You can hide the items if you don't want to see it. The menu groups, you're simply saying add menu group and it'll add a new group. You can put in a quick access code as well as descriptions, online labels, and online descriptions. And then from there, you can start adding items into it. Again, like I said, these menu groups do not relate to sales categories, sales item categories. They're just purely a subdivision for the menu to organize things better for members. On a given item, you have the ability to specify what the online label is going to be. So we'll just replace small crab wings and add a description in below as to how they're made. Deep fried wings with an Old Bay seasoning, something like that. You can see the prep options that are on the item already, and that will be available for members to select them. You are not adding prep options here. You're purely just viewing which prep options are assigned. So whatever you've got set up on your point of sale item will transfer online. That being said, what I have experienced working with clubs is that oftentimes their prep option menus are not they're not set up for an end user to work with. Oftentimes they're set up for a server, so they may commingle a lot of different options into a single prep option menu. I don't necessarily advise this. I think it's better for an end user, a member, to get a more defined experience. So thinking in the context of a burger, what are my bun options? What are my sides? What are my toppings? 3 separate categories, each with its own max. Our good friend Mazrur Ansari wanted to mention something about prep option override.
Yes.
For online ordering. Matt?
So just wanted to mention that obviously there's going to be some prep options or even some prep groups altogether, as Rob mentioned, that are going to be internal only, that are staff, and we don't want to show those or present those options when a member is making an online item order. So for that reason, within your existing prep option groups, under the options tab, for those that will take on online ordering, there is an exclusion flag that's been added where you can specifically choose certain prep groups to not include them with online ordering. So that way, if there's any instructions groups or special mod groups that are really for staff only, we can exclude those so that you don't have to worry about, redesigning prep groups specifically for online purposes. Additionally, we've done this for the prep options as well. So if there's an individual option that you really are like C server or any one of those, you can go under the point of sale information section and do not include with online ordering. That way, essentially, you're getting away with having your core items that you'd like to make available online, but exclude certain selected prep options or groups, by this exclusion option, so that you don't have to, you can exclude them from members from seeing them. So.
Yeah, so to that point, if you were to exclude them from any of the group or prep option menus, or individual prep options, you would not see them inside that online ordering. It would only reflect in that tab we looked at. It only reflects those that are not excluded. So it's a nice feature if you have a note to put in there for a staff member or a CN server. None of that would be necessary for the end user. So once it's all set up and you start taking orders, there are going to be 2 options available. Like I said, there's going to be a queue and there's going to be a ticket going straight to point of sale. So looking at this outlet, which is the grill room dinner, we are saying we're not sending orders directly to printers. So in that case, we're going to use that point of sale online ordering queue. So if I launch my queue for this particular outlet on Friday, we see there's this one order here from Michael Anderson. It's for a ribeye cap and sweet potato fries for a total of $29. From here, you can see there are 3 options at the bottom: launch point of sale and send order, and create shit and send order, each of which performing a different function. Launch point of sale just allows you to view it. Launch point of sale and send order sends the order to the preps. Create shit and send order is going to create, so just to explain, the launch point of sale and send order will launch the point of sale system with the chit open, and also automatically send the items that have not been sent on that order. So send the order automatically, so the staff doesn't need to go ahead and
press that send order key, but they're still in point of sale with the chit open in front of them. The last option is where a user is going to be working in this screen and they just want to process orders, create orders, and stay on this screen. So they want to create Anderson's order, send it, but then maybe process another order in the list that we would have. So that way it's more of a to-go station attendant that's just manning the pending orders coming in and clicking on that create chit and send order, and then selecting another order from the screen and doing the same and staying on it.
So if I create chit and send order, it'll send the chit over to point of sale. If we look in the created order sent and I look at my halfway house, we'll see that this order that I sent in earlier went directly to the preps. It created a ticket for Michael Anderson. It's on chit 22, as we saw before. From this screen, I have the ability to mark this order as ready. Upon doing so, if the order is configured to send the notification, it will do so when I click that button. And now you'll see that the order ready is checked and also the notification sent is checked. So we should see a notification come up on the app in a few moments.
And as that comes up, just to mention that this online ordering queue screen program, for those clubs on the line that maybe have a point of sale at their grill room that they're already taking, close to the phone that they're taking takeout orders for, that screen can actually be launched and kept separately with point of sale. So it can be minimized while point of sale is running on a POS terminal. And as orders come in, there'll be a little bit of a beep and a flicker on that separate screen, and then the server can obviously then focus their screen and open up the queue screen to see what new order has come in. So just a little bit of, for those terminals that will be sharing point of sale and maybe want to have that same terminal man orders, they can do that as well. So basic point here is the online ordering queue screen can be open. It will be processing while someone else is on that same terminal using point of sale.
Thank you, Maz. From that point, I mean, really what we're talking about is a basic point of sale transaction. So the ticket will come in, and someone will be able to settle that to whatever method you want. You can split the tickets. By default, it's going to be assigned to the member that ordered it. And like I said, you can take any tender method you want. It's really just a basic point of sale transaction from that point forward. To Maz's earlier point, in addition to that beep and the flicker when an order comes in, you can have an email go to the person who's manning that station or people, and you can toggle the active and inactive users on a daily basis. You can say, I just want to send an email, and I can add an email address to it. I can add multiple email addresses to it, as it turns out. And like I said, on a given day, only one of them has to be active. So for instance, I can turn Maz's off today and just leave it to me, and I will get the notification if Maz won't. But if tomorrow Maz is working and I'm not, I can turn on Maz's, and he will get the notification and I won't. Good. All right. With that, I will bounce back to the presentation and hand it back. And I will pass it over to Basil to show you the push notification on the. We'll pass it back to your phone to take a look at the mobile experience for online ordering.
Yes, thanks, Rob. So as Rob was showing us, I'm just going to share my screen here. So as Rob was showing us how to order from a desktop, I know we're all wondering, what does it look like in the mobile app? And to give you some background on why that's important, in our over 1,500 club websites, we see over 60% of traffic to those sites is on mobile devices. That's not taking into account the people that are going to the mobile app for the club. So that gulf would be even greater if we took that into account between mobile browsing and desktop browsing. So we're looking right now at the Encore Country Club mobile app, and we're going to go into online ordering, and I'm going to make an order, and it we'll just get a quick snack out to the halfway house so we can pick it up as we go there. So we'll just get a couple beers here, a couple hot dogs, and a couple bags of chips. We'll make sure those are nacho cheese. Then we view our cart. We can put in any notes. So one thing I would say is you may want to talk to your members or put out some policy so you're setting expectations right. When they order from the halfway house, are they picking it up? Are you delivering it to them on course? If you set the proper expectation, there won't be any misunderstanding where they're waiting by a hole thinking you're going to be delivering it to them when really they should be picking it up. So I will submit that order, and then it fires. We have our confirmation, and we can go from there. So we will flip back to our presentation now. So we have just listed some ways that we've seen clubs using this or want to use it in different ways. We've discussed it with them, and I've talked with many clubs over the past, I guess, couple years about mobile or online ordering and how they want to use it. Our first example is clubs that may have a beach club or beach component, or really some other facility, maybe a yacht club where they're serving down by the dock and it's not necessarily right by your POS outlet, but you want to have service there. Short of having to extend your Wi-Fi and have tablets and manning it with full service staff, with the mobile app and online ordering, you can have members order and have someone running food, maybe only have one server out there to look at the member experience and make sure they're satisfied while they can order on the phone themselves. Halfway houses example we've looked at for the clubs with golf. That's a big one, having members order while they're on course and pick it up at the turn at the halfway house. Poolside is a common one we hear from a lot of clubs that in the last 5 years or so have really been looking at involving the whole family in the club. And having a lot of pool service. So the problem has been in speaking to a lot of them that if they have one server out there, if they're gone bringing orders out, there's no one to take an order. So with mobile or online ordering, members can have put their orders in, people can run the food out, and you can have one staff member out there monitoring the member experience and making sure there's member satisfaction. To-go ordering, Rob touched on that. A lot of clubs that may be part of a homeowners association, property owners association, community association, or a gated community where they will do a lot of to-go or pickup, or just members that are using your fitness facilities, ordering their meal for when they're done to take with them, or to take a meal home for the family when they are done. So all these possibilities, looking at how you can either increase your business or make it more efficient in those areas where you may already have it. So benefits to your club, we've really touched on this in different areas. Member convenience, they can get on there and order in these remote areas and get it to the club and to the staff right away, which is their self-service while at the club. Although being a member of a private club, we do want to have that personal touch point. This allows us to focus more on the service than just taking the order. And streamlines the ordering process for the club staff and kitchen. It's not emails coming in that someone has to type in. It's a ticket that either fires directly to the printer or goes to a queue with somebody deciding when to fire it.
All right. That's great, guys. Thank you very much for taking us through it. We have had some questions come in.
Oh, no.
First one that I think we should address is when the order is placed, is it connected to whichever website mobile app login is being used?
It is. So whomever is it's only accessible by members who are logged in, and the member as whom they're logged in will be attached as the owner of the ticket. Like I said earlier, once it goes to point of sale, and the member is picking up the order or you're delivering it and they want to give you instructions to split it amongst two families or something, you can take that information back to point of sale and do it at the settlement point.
And can custom messages be sent for when the order is ready?
So the button we discussed is just the order is ready message. So no custom message can be sent that way. But with the mobile app, you can send push notifications. Now, typically those are sent to specific member types or statuses, but you can send it to an individual member. So that would be out of the Clubhouse Online administrative area. You can send a push notification to a specific member. Sure.
Yeah, I'll just take you there quickly to show you where that is. So if you log in as an administrator, you're going to have the ability to access the mobile app, and from there, you'll have the ability to send out, like Basil said, push notifications to a specific user as opposed to a group of users, whether that be by status or by dues class. So in the Create Notification screen, you'll see down here it says member types or member status. You also have this option to say by member name, and then all the members who have logged into the app previously, in this case there's not many, you have the ability to select Mr. Michael Anderson, and your chicken fingers order is ready. Michael Anderson likes chicken fingers.
Oh, he's a big fan.
Ready in the dining room. Please bring your own sauces. There's no sauces in the dining room. You can send it out now. You click save, and that message is queued to be sent within a minute or two. It'll sit in the queue until it's processed. So you have the ability, like Basil said, to send out custom notifications through the push notifications, just not as part of that order ready. That's really just saying your order's picked and packed and ready to pick up. Why don't you come down to the outlet and grab it?
All right, great. Thank you, Rob. And another one along similar lines, will order gratuity be applied to the designated user? So depending on who is filling the order.
So I'll take this one, Trevor. Originally, the user that we had set up for the outlet, the chits are being assigned to that user. So unless the individual that actually services that ticket takes over that chit, then the gratuity would belong to them. So it's, I guess, whoever is settling out that ticket, if they do take it over from the original user that the order was created against via the outlet setup, it would end up going to them. If they do not take the chit over, obviously then that gratuity would be stamped against that outlet user that's creating orders for us.
Great.
So we'll just quickly pass it back over to Basil to show the notification he received that I just sent out on his phone. So there's the message, went directly to Michael Anderson. That's who Basil's logged in as, indicating that his chicken fingers are ready and to bring his own sauces.
Nice. Can you set time parameters on your outlets? Example, no orders from say 1:50 to 2 p.m., 2:50 to 3 p.m., etc.
Yeah, that's my fault. I didn't show the scheduling, but you have the ability to set a schedule which includes a date range and as well time of day. So you can say that it's open at in the summer you have longer hours than the winter, and each day, for instance, can have its own hours of operation. So that's more to my point of the grill room dinner and the grill room lunch, where you can have two different outlets that are the same actual physical place, but each on its own schedule. Also, within a given outlet, you can have, like I said, variable schedule by time of year, day of week, holidays, and they can have their own hours. There's a whole setup screen in which you can establish those hours of operation for the outlet. So they can be different than the hours of operation for, say, the grill room in general, specifically for that outlet where you want to give you some shoulder time so you're not getting orders immediately and you're not getting orders after closing time or when you close the kitchen.
So within a given day, I could schedule my halfway house to only be available from 9 to 12 p.m. And then for up to 2 p.m., I don't take any orders. And from 2 to 5 p.m., I could take orders. So on a given day, you do have the ability of controlling the hours for the orders and have sometimes, a range of time in that day that the outlet's not available online to members.
Sounds like full control.
Yeah.
This is a good question, actually. What are the payment options for members when settling a chit? Is it member charge only?
It's up to the club. Whatever the outlet is taking in the sales area, whatever the sales area takes, it'll accommodate. Because again, remember, this is just going to point of sale. They're not actually making a payment online. They're making a payment or they're being charged for the order at the point of sale interaction. So whether that is when the server drops it off at their poolside chair or when they arrive at the halfway house to pick it up, they can indicate how they would like to settle their chips.
So essentially, whatever payment options you provide for that sales area and point of sale, those same payment options would be available to the server at time of settling that online order chit.
Great. Baz, I think this one is directed for you. Just some clarification. Is this an additional module, and what are the costs associated with it?
This is an additional Clubhouse Online module. The cost associated with it and adding it to your Clubhouse Online website and or app is $500 for the implementation fee. That's one time. $1,200 is the annual subscription fee. And then there's a $270 training fee, which is the training on all the items Rob was discussing regarding setting up the menus, the POS items, modifiers, your schedules for those. So that's what that part of the training covers. So again, I'll repeat that, $500 implementation fee, which is one time, $1,200 annual subscription fee, and $270 training fee. And I believe we will be sending that out as part of the follow-up email, right, Trevor?
Yeah, so just so everybody's aware, I will be sending out a recording of this webinar to everyone in a follow-up email, which will include the pricing and contact information if you want to maybe get some more answers. And we'll share Basil's contact information at the end of the presentation as well.
So Basil, just a question. So that $500 and $200 fee is a one-time fee, and the $1,200 is recurring.
$270 on the training.
$270 on the training.
Yeah. Look at it like this. Year one is $1,970, and then every year thereafter will be $1,200.
Yeah.
I think we got time for maybe one or two more. If you are unusually busy on a specific night, is there an override or way to turn off orders for a short time period?
Absolutely. We have provided for that on the outlet setup. There's a little active flag on the outlet setup itself. And the minute any manager, anyone that has access to that outlet setup deactivates the outlet, that would then kill that outlet from availability online immediately. And when reactivated, it would then become available again. So there is that shutdown there.
Yeah, to make one other point with regard to scheduling on that note, in the scheduling as well, if, for instance, an outlet is not yet open, it'll still display online. It just will show its hours of operation and when it's going to become available. So it'll say opens at 11 a.m. if it's 10:55 and someone tries to go in and order from the grill room lunch.
And a last one that's kind of come up a couple of times, it looks, is there a way to set a wait time or an ETA or any types of way for the member to check on their order status prior to picking up?
Not presently, but that is something that has been requested by webinars as well as actual clients using it, and it's something we will consider for future dev, where we will set up sort of a not only a wait time but also an order pickup time. So instead of putting it in through the notes, you'll have the ability to set a pickup time. So I want to pick it up at 6, and that time will be cognizant of the current time plus the minimum prep time on the order that is required.
All right, that sounds great. So with that, we will just give you Basil's contact information. We'll switch it over to the presentation here, and you can write down his email address, but I will be sending this out after the fact. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. If we didn't get to your question in the Q&A, I will be passing these questions on to the right people, and we'll be in touch.
And I just wanted to touch upon this. Please do email me with any questions. I will be responding and involving your appropriate Clubhouse Online account manager or rep that you normally deal with and get them involved with it so they are well aware.
Trevor, this session is being recorded, correct?
That is
the link
correct.
Will be available?
Yeah, you'll be able to share this with your staff as well as watch it again if you need to, and you'll hopefully have that by the end of today. So thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you soon.